Okay, I've got to tell you, I'm really nervous right now making this video. I'm jittery. I can feel myself quivering. And I've experienced this a few times in my life. And it's been primarily when I feel like God's telling me to do something. And it's often a hard thing and something that I'm not really comfortable doing. And that's the way I feel right now. And I'm going to tell you something that I've remembered all of my life. And it wasn't until I was probably in my 40s that I ever told anyone that I remember. But I just felt at that time that I had to tell this person and I don't even remember why I felt like it would help them. But I did. And I felt jittery then. And I told them. And I think it did help them. So, to the best of my recollection, for 40 some odd years, I had a secret. And I don't remember if it was something that someone told me not to tell. And then I felt a release to tell. I don't remember that. But there are instances that I tested my memory, I guess you could say. Not this particular memory, but most people don't have memories as old as the ones that I have. And I didn't test it on purpose, but it just passed a test because I had moved to Florida from Michigan and come back and I don't even see my memory. I have a head injury, so there are a lot of glitches in my memories. And putting things in chronological order sometimes doesn't work very well for me. But anyways, I had been away from my family for some time and was going to a place here in Michigan called Metro Beach. Metropolitan Parkway is the road that leads to Metro Beach. And I had never been there before. And I was going with my mom. And I don't remember who else was with us in the car. Probably Judy, her friend, maybe my sister. I don't really remember. But I remember driving down this, and it's a very long entranceway to Metro Beach. And as we're driving down it, I go, oh, I've been here before. I remember. And my mom said, no, we have never been here before. And I said, yeah, we were. Grandma was with us, and Grandpa, and Aunt Judy came, and Aunt Joanne came, and all the kids. And she said, Beverly, you can't remember that. I said, well, what do you mean? She said, you were only a year old. You can't possibly remember that. So that confirms to me that my earliest memories are valid. I had another memory that she didn't confirm, and it's kind of funny. And I don't know why she didn't confirm it, but I remember being really little and having to go potty. I'm sure I was in the potty training stages. And my mom was on the toilet. And so she lifted me up and put me between her legs, and we went potty together. Okay, so I think that's really cute. But when I told her that, she was like, that never happened. So I think she either forgot or she was too embarrassed to admit that. I don't know why. I don't think it would be embarrassing. I think it's cute. Um, so I also remember being in my crib. So I'm going chronologically back through some of my oldest memories to, anyways, I remember being in my crib, and I remember the bars, in my crib. I remember having a diaper rash. Mom, I'm sorry, you might not like this story, but it's true. And this is just the experience of being a baby. I remember having a diaper rash, and um, there was no word for mom. I was pre-communication, you know, and I was angry, and I wanted her to use, I would assume it would be Vaseline in that day, to make it feel better, because she had done that before and it worked. And screaming and crying and making noise. And because she wasn't doing what I thought she should do, I was angry. And her, actually, I don't know if this was the same or a combined memory, but I remember the screaming and the crying actually getting her to respond to me, and me like understanding that I have the ability to communicate, to get my wishes heard. I remember, and this connects back further, I remember being angry with her and thinking to myself that I wanted to go back, and this isn't what I bargained for. This isn't what I agreed to. This isn't working out. I want to go back. I changed my mind. I don't want to do this. And then, even prior to that, I remember before I was born, being like, I just remember changing my mind and not wanting to do this. And it was like a decision that I had made, as if I had a choice in the matter, and deciding that I changed my mind. I don't want to do this. And I remember being, the word escapes me because I'm trying to combine two words. I remember being consoled and counseled. And I can't say who it was. I don't know. Was that an angel? Was that God himself? Was that, I don't know who it was, but I was told, I was told that I would be taken care of, everything would be okay, and that there would be others who would help me find my way back, that I was going to be able to come back. I remember just arguing and complaining, and I was terrified, and I just didn't want to do it. It's like, no, I don't want to do this. And I was convinced that it was going to be okay, that I needed to do this. And I don't know if it was like I had to do it. I don't know. I don't remember. But I was told that I would find my way back, that there would be others that would help me find my way back. So these are my earliest memories. And now, like, it was the weirdest thing. Here we are in 2023. 23 has always been like the most significant number to me because I was born on a 23rd. It was my grandparents' anniversary that I was born on. And my first marriage, I was married to a person who was born on the 23rd of a different month. Our first son was born on a 23rd of a different month. And 23 has almost like haunted me all my life. Sometimes really bad. Sometimes it's comforting. Sometimes it's not a thing for a while, but it's always there. That 23, always there. So here we are in 23. And just last night, I had gone someplace with my son, and on the way back, I was recounting this again. I don't know why. I just felt, I don't know why I wanted to talk about it. And I asked him, have I told you this before? And he's like, yeah, Mom, you know. But you know how our phones just listen to us, right? And you talk about something and then the ads start popping up for what you were talking about. So I get up this morning and I see in my feed, in my YouTube feed, a video talking about pre-birth experiences, memories. And in all my years, I am over 60 now, I have never heard anyone say that. It's like I feel like I was the only one. But I knew I couldn't be, you know? And I've spoken about it a few times since I feel like I got released to mention it, you know? Like, I'm okay with it now. I can mention it. But I don't talk about it very often. But I've never had anybody say, oh, yeah, I know somebody else who experienced that. Or, yeah, I experienced that. Nothing. You know, it's like, I know there's got to be people out there because I can't be the only one. You know, that would be ridiculous for me to think that. And anyways, so here's this video on YouTube. And I realize now, suddenly today, that there's a lot of people who have pre-birth memories, and I never thought of it as anything dark, or I don't know how to say it, but I've listened to quite a few of these videos and they all have a common theme. And as I'm listening to them, I don't really remember those things that these people all seem to remember. And I'm not saying that, what I am saying is that it does sound familiar, like maybe I vaguely might recall some of this, but I don't know for sure. I've never spent a lot of time just really searching my memory and trying, and sometimes you can make things up. There's such a thing as, false memories. And I had a prime example of that with my two oldest kids. Jean went to Virginia Beach with my mom, and Jean and Sky were a couple years apart. And I had just had Sky. She was just a newborn infant. And my mom thought that it would be nice to give me some time alone with the new baby and take Jean on a vacation. And she did. Well, as they got older, Jean, had always, I guess, talked with Sky, I guess, about Virginia Beach. And maybe with my mom, when they were over there or something like that. And Sky apparently developed memories of going to Virginia Beach. And she always thought that she went to Virginia Beach too. And she really did think that. She really did believe that with all her heart, that she went to Virginia Beach. We used to go through, like, when we're driving on the highway, there were certain tunnels that were lit on the inside, and somehow that reminded Jean of something in Virginia Beach, and it developed into something that we all did together, and it was really fun. As we would go through the tunnels, we would all shout, "We're going to Virginia Beach!" And we would try to carry the each until we got out of the tunnel. So it was like an exercise for our lungs, right? It was just fun. It was just something we did. I still want to do it sometimes when I go through the same tunnels. I want to shout, "We're going to Virginia Beach!" And I do it once in a while. But anyways, I just felt like I should share that, um, because I'm looking on YouTube, and I did a search, for pre-birth memories or pre-birth experiences, and it's like the internet goes back a long ways, quite a ways, and within 10 years, like when you go 10 years back, I only find, like one or two videos. But as it gets more and more current, there's more and more and more and more of these videos. Like this is being released to the world that the Bible is true. I'm going to put it in those terms because he said, I knew you before you were born. I formed your innermost parts in your mother's womb. And so therefore, we are who we are before that moment of birth. Now, these people seem to have recollections of before conception, and they all seem to have these memories of looking through a portal or a glass or at a screen or something like that, and choosing and making decisions with other beings, negotiating and coming up with a plan for their life prior to, and even choosing their parents and whatnot. Now, I don't have any specific recollections like that, even though when they say it, it kind of makes me go, do I remember something like that? But I don't want to form false memories, and I don't want to build something that, that I'm not sure of, especially knowing how a person can form false memories based on what they hear. So anyways, I just feel real jittery about this. I don't know why, but I guess that's all. I just wanted to put it out there that, like, it just seems like this year, as I'm looking at the, a couple months ago, or even weeks ago, like the first video that popped up because YouTube or the internet or whatever listens to us, was from 3 weeks ago. So, it just seems like maybe I've always wondered if I'd live to 2023, for one thing, and if I did, what it would be like. And I always felt like it would be a year of change, significant change. And I don't know, I still don't know, if it's for the good or for the bad, and just, I'm going to look at some other things real quick here, just that the Bible tells me that really bad times are coming. And I've always seen it that way. I've always expected it. I've always thought that that was going to be the case, because that's what I read in end times as far as the Bible goes. And then in 2016, something happened, and I really felt like we had a reprieve from impending doom. And we did. And we had a leader, and I know some people just absolutely hate Donald Trump with a passion. But if you ever listen to his speeches, he had a father's heart toward us as a people and as a nation. He wanted the best for us. He wanted us to be a righteous people. There were no new wars. there were peace talks and peace negotiations. And I just felt like we had hope, but it wasn't what I expected. It was such a shock. It was such a shock that all the bad, evil things that I expected that were going to happen, looked like they weren't going to happen. And then everything turned around, and so I don't know what's going to happen. But I always felt like 2023 would be a pivotal year, and I still feel like 2023 will be a pivotal year. And I just think it's odd that all these stories are coming out, coming into 2023. And maybe, maybe we'll be kinder to the unborn if we realize that they have a consciousness. Because I definitely had a consciousness. And then, like what I was saying, everybody, it's almost like some people talk about even having contracts coming into this life. Like I said, I don't remember any of that, but I do remember like wanting to go back to the power in charge who sent me here, and feeling like this wasn't what I bargained for. They're not performing as I expected, And I was just angry, rebellious all the way. It seems to me, from the birth, from before the birth, I was, I don't want to do this, So to me, that these things confirm the Word of God. But then, some of the things that people talk about, reincarnation, some of them feel like maybe it was aliens, or it makes me nervous to even make a video that would support those ideas, because I don't believe in those things. I can't confirm them in the Word of God, and I know that it says it's appointed unto man once to die. And I think a lot of what we're taught in modern churches today is very, very misinterpreted. That's a whole nother can of worms, right? A whole nother ball of wax. But I know there's been times when I've been spoken to in my spirit, and I'm not one of these people who claims a bunch of crazy stuff, but times when I've felt jittery and nervous, and I can't do this, and I know I have to, and there's just a certain feeling of like you're kind of overcome in the spirit by something, and you have to do it, compelled, and this is just one of those times. And so I'm just gonna end it here, I guess. I'm sure I have a lot more that I could say about different subjects, or it could rabbit trail who knows where. So I guess I'm going to end it here. But that is, that's where I'm at. I just felt like I needed to add my voice to the throng of voices that seem to be coming out, telling the story of knowing God and Him knowing us before we were born. And I think it's even before conception, before we were conceived. So, thank you for listening. God bless you. Or I would say Yahweh bless you. Abba, my Abba Father. That's what I try to remember to always call out to Abba. Papa, Daddy. Because it says the spirit cries, Abba. And my spirit does cry, Abba. So I hope that I've come along on my way of finding my way back. And I hope you do too. All right, be blessed.